Okay, gang, today I'm going to show you how to install Loom. It is a tool for recording video off of your computer, and it makes it easy to share it with your students. So in order to start the install process, the first thing you need to do is you need to open a browser window. I'm going to use Google Chrome because I think a lot of people use that. And also there is a Loom extension that you can insert into Google Chrome if you'd like. So that's an additional option there that is not available on Safari. The first step here is you go to your address bar and type in loom.com. When you go there, you will see that this is the website for the company, and all over the main page are buttons for Get Loom for free. Choose one of them and click it, and you're greeted with this login page. What we're going to do is we're going to sign up with Google, and the reason we're using Google is because we have a Google Apps suite with the Academy, so you'll be able to use your Deerfield login information. So I'm going to click on this, and now I'm going to type in my Deerfield account information. So there's my Deerfield email address. I click Next, and now you're all familiar with this login information. Yes, that's my account. And now it asks me to approve the privacy policy. Sometimes I find that you have to scroll to the bottom to click these buttons, so I sort of do that out of routine. So now that I've accepted the user agreement, it's going to ask me what I'm using this for. I'm going to choose education. I assume this helps them to answer this question. And now I have a choice here. I can choose to install the desktop app, or I can choose to install the Chrome extension. I'm going to start by showing you how to install the desktop app because I know that everybody can use that on their Mac. The Chrome extension may be valuable for those people who use Chrome, and I'll show you how to install that later on in this video. So in terms of downloading the app, I press this button, and you can see over here in the corner it's downloading. And you'll also see that this icon, my downloads folder, just sort of bounced. And if I click on that, I can see my Loom disk image. That's what DMG stands for, disk image, has been saved here. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, I could have alternatively chosen this and chosen open. But once it's opening that file, you'll be presented with this window. Mind you, if I click on Chrome, that window is going to disappear, and I need to get it back. And the easiest way to do that is to just click the Finder icon in your dock down here. So if it was hidden, I can click Finder and I get back to the Finder. So here's the Loom app, and try to recognize this icon. You're going to need to know what that icon looks like later. So you're probably used to just picking up these applications and dragging and dropping them on the applications icon here. But what I want you to do instead this time is pick it up and hold onto it, and keep holding it, and now once you see the folder appear, drop it in there. So now what you're going to find is you're already in the applications folder, and you see Loom right here, and what you can do is while you're in here, you can just drag the Loom app into your dock, and now it'll be in the dock, and that's very convenient. So if you've taken care of that, that's really handy to get it into the dock. Otherwise, if you've just dragged and dropped this over onto applications the normal way, that's fine too. Don't worry about it. Once you've done that operation, you can click this red X to close this window. So for our next step, we're going to forget about this window for the time being. So I'm going to just use the yellow icon here to minimize Chrome. And you can see that it disappears down into my tray here. So if I want that back, I can just click that icon. But here I'm going to press the yellow icon to hide it. And the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to open the Loom app. So when Loom opens, it's going to pop up this warning, or it probably will on your computer. If it doesn't, it's not such a big deal. But this is just a security warning to make sure you want to open this application. And the answer is yes, and you're going to press open. And when you do, you will see that there is no window that opens here. It's unlike other applications in that, if you open Safari or you open Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, a box appears on the screen. But with Loom, that's not the case. Instead, it appears at the top of the screen. So you'll remember this is the icon I asked you to look out for. And your menu bar at the top of the screen may have more or different icons than mine does, but you're looking for this one. That's the Loom icon, and it may very well be the last icon in your list here, all the way to the left. So you see here, You might think to yourself, well, hold on, we just signed in with Google. Why do I have to sign in again? And the reason is what we just did on loom.com in Chrome is set up an account with Loom. What we're doing now is hooking the desktop software, the software that's going to live on our computers. We're going to hook it up to that account in the cloud. So the first thing you're going to do is click on sign in with Google. You're going to type in your deerfield.edu email address. It's going to bring you to this very familiar page that you've seen 1,000 times. So Loom launches this welcome screen, and most of it is marketing information, and you can read through it at your leisure and sort of see what's going on here. But when you click next, it's going to advertise different things. None of this requires your interaction yet, and none of it is anything more than just advertising. When you get to this screen, what it is asking you to do is you actually have to adjust your system preferences. So what Loom needs is access to your camera, your microphone, your other accessibility features, and screen sharing. So it's going to ask for a lot of permissions for your computer. And on each of this screen and the next screens, it will ask you to keep going back into your preferences and grant access. So I want to show you how to do that all at once to make your life a little simpler. But when you get to this screen, it's going to ask you to open security and privacy. So I'm going to click on that and do that. And you can see that now the security and privacy window has opened in front of me, and camera on the left pane here is selected, and Loom here unchecked because it does not have access to the camera, right? So this says allow the apps below to access your camera. I'm going to click this button, and it's going to give me this message: Loom.app will not have access to your camera until it is quit, meaning the application itself will have to be restarted before I can use it. And that's fine, we're going to do that anyway. But for right now, I want you to click later. And the next thing I want you to do is go to microphone, and you will see now I've selected microphone over here. Again, Loom will be asking for permission to your microphone. So I'm going to click that, and again we get this message. Again, I'm going to click later. I'm going to scroll down, and under accessibility, it's going to say, allow the apps below to control your computer. Now, this is heavier stuff, and you will have to click the lock here to unlock this screen. I have my Apple Watch set up to unlock things, but I will type in my password to just make life similar for you guys. And you're using your computer password there, not your Deerfield mail password. Your computer password, whatever you use to install programs on your computer, for example. So now this pane is unlocked. I can click on Loom. And one more, I got to scroll down to screen recording here. And this may be locked or unlocked depending on your situation. Again, I'm going to check Loom. And again, it's going to ask me for later or quit now. And this time, since I've granted all 4 bits of access, camera, microphone, accessibility, and screen recording, I am going to quit now. So you saw the Loom window disappear behind me here. I'm going to click this red circle to get out of system preferences. And now I'm going to go back down to the dock to start Loom again. So now here Loom is back again, and we're back at the beginning of these marketing messages. But this time, as we click next, when we get to the microphone thing, or the camera thing, it's going to say, oh, you've already granted camera permissions. When we get to microphone, it's going to say, oh, you've already granted microphone permissions. Next. And again, accessibility permissions, which we already did, have been successfully enabled. And then lastly, screen recording permissions that we already enabled have been enabled, so you're good to go. So I press next, and now we are ready to record. Now here is the thing. You can see now that I've got this screen up, and my pretty little face is down here in the corner here. And it seems like everything is ready, and it may very well be. It is very possible that your computer is ready to go. But I recommend that you restart it first. And the reason why you should restart it is you may find that there's some extra permission you needed to give or some extra accessibility layer that you needed to give that wasn't prompted by the software. I found that to be the case on my computer, and Loom would not work till I rebooted. So this is a good point to reboot your computer, and once you have rebooted your computer, you will be able to use Loom and it should work fine. Before you reboot, one last thing is what I would recommend you doing. Go down to the dock here. I'm going to hide this by clicking here, and down on the dock is the Loom icon. And I'm going to right click on it, and you can choose Options, Open at Login. And what this is going to do is it's going to ensure that Loom launches every time you start your computer, and that's going to be really handy. So there you go. That is all you need to do to install Loom, and the next step really is just restarting your computer, which you would go over to here to the Apple logo and choose Restart. So that's the end of this video, and in the next couple of videos I'll show you how to use the software and maybe some tips and tricks as well.